Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. As usual, we have a lot to cover. It's never ending. Let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. I want to start off by saying thank you to the two people who sent me these gorgeous Christmas cards. One of them had a coin in it, very old, totally cool. Thank you so much. And to the person who sent me the box stuffed full of toys for Finn and the cats. Oh my goodness. Fabulous. Finn immediately laid claim to his favorite toy. I still tried to get him to play tug of war. Even as a puppy, he didn't like tug of war, but here he is playing with his new toy. And he loves his new toys. Choo, choo, choo. Give it. Now you want it? Loves the toys. Good choices. He's very happy. I'm so glad that people haven't forgotten Finn. And to the person who sent this, now Finn weighs 39 pounds. This was a medium. It's a little big, but my husband said he's going to try to make it work. So don't worry. But thank you. I'm just so happy that people haven't forgotten Finn and that so many people love him. All right, let's get in. We're going to start off with this article because I think it's important to remember that there is another set of grandparents, and it's Catherine's parents, the Middletons. They have Buckleberry Manor in Berkshire, and apparently they have a beautiful tree topper on the Instagram account. You can see it for her, for the business that's out now called Party Pieces, and it says, and I'm quoting, "Once again this year we plan to have 2 Christmas trees, one for the children to decorate and one which I do myself." She said, "My beloved tree top angel is looking a little worse for wear after years of service, so it's time to invest in something new. And this light up gold star will bring the extra twinkle to the proceedings." So I think it's very nice that they have their own traditions in the Middleton house as, compared to what goes on with King Charles and Queen Camilla. Moving on. Next up, we have Princess Anne, and she was at a reception for the St. John's ambulance service. Apparently, there were 8 young people there, held at the Priory Church of St. John in London. These young people had all been named the 2023 Badgers and Cadets of the Year for each region, showing commitment to their charity over the last year. Wonderful. Moving on. Next up, we're going to go back to Omid Scobie. He is being interviewed by TikTokers. And this one young lady said that Catherine taking her children to the baby bank is philanthrocapitalism, exploiting the children. I mean, obviously, these people that are interviewing Omid are squatties because they don't mention Meghan and Harry's, usage of other children, like what happened at Harlem, where she went wearing like almost $10,000 worth of clothing and like $400,000 worth of jewelry into one of the poorest schools in the area. Or when they went and planted forget-me-nots at the preschool during COVID, showing full facial pictures of other people's children. Nobody mentions that, of course. I have to agree with Megan's mole here. I really do. I find it interesting that the only people he can talk to now are TikTok sugars because mainstream media won't talk to him anymore. So what does he do? He puts out another tweet, totally insisting that there's things in the book that nobody's reporting on, which we all know is absolutely untrue. He's talking about now the uptick in, these audiobooks that you can buy, but let's not forget that the book publisher was offering those for free. Now, talking about books, let's look at the Spare for just a second. It's been reported that Harry may have gotten, nobody knows for sure, up to a $20 million advance. But even though his book was like a bestseller, and remember, it was a bestseller because it's all about the numbers. They gave away the audiobook for free. If you ordered 1 book, you got sent 2, right? But only 1.2 million hard copies were actually sold, meaning that Harry did not earn Penguin Random House enough money to even pay them back for the advance that he got. That's right. So we'd all heard that Harry said he wasn't going to share the money from his advance. He was going to donate money from the proceeds from his book. And then the book didn't sell well. So guess what? He got to keep What they are estimating is a $20 million advance. And how much went to charity from that? Absolutely nothing. So the spare was just to put more money into his pocket. Somehow this just doesn't surprise me at all. And you guys never heard another word again about money being donated from the proceeds from the book, have you? Not another peep was said, because there was nothing left to say, because there were no proceeds from the book. I mean, now we know that Harry and Meghan signed a 4-book deal. We know that the bench came out. That was horrible. Now we know that the spare made his advance 1/4 of the amount, which was $9 to $10 million. Again, although it's being reported it could have been high as $20 million. And the ghostwriter who actually did all the work only got $1 million as an advance. But now it looks like Penguin Random House overpaid. He has to sell twice the number of books at the original price of $36 just to earn back his advance. Serves Penguin Random House right. So the big question now is Penguin Random House going to say, okay, we did the bench, it sucked, we did spare, it sucked, and we're going to cut our losses here? Is that what's going to happen next? Moving on. All right, here we go. Meghan did a question and answer for Netflix for Meeson Harriman. Now, notice what it says. 1 year after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex bombshell documentary, and then it says below that the show was one of the UK's most watched subscription TV series. Not according to Netflix's own paperwork, it's not. So she sat on the stage with Meeson Harriman because Meeson did some sort of a docu-series that's only like 30 minutes long or 18 minutes long. It's really short, called The After. And so they did a premiere in a private residence in Montecito, California. And of course it's being pushed because it's on Netflix, and it's supposedly about a London rideshare driver who has to reconnect with himself in society because he witnessed a devastating random attack in the capital. Oh my Lord of mercy. Now she brings the conversation around to herself first. How long have we been friends, Meeson? How long? Oh, 10 years at least, talking about herself. She keeps stopping and starting, and it's very disconjointed. And you can tell that she's not happy that she's not the, center of attention. Now, at some point, Meghan once again brought the attention back to herself, and this is what she had to say. She says, "The last time Meeson was at my house, my 4.5-year-old son, he insists that I say he's 4.5, not 4. And she says, and I bought him a camera, and my son looked at me and said, but it's not a Leica. He says, oh, it's not a Leica like Meeson's. And Meghan was like, you're not getting a Leica, not even for Christmas. So she says, thank you for the inspiration across the board. So here's what I've got from that. This child, either number one, she's lying flat out, which wouldn't surprise me, or he is the most spoiled brat in the world. What 4-year-old child demands an $8,000 camera? Molly's mama pointed out that the Queen had 2 Leicas, and also Meeson was squirming a little bit because he probably realized that she just lied. But I mean, of course, nobody calls her out on her lies, not even Harry. It's such a joke. And I also agree with what this Twitter user put up. Of course, she had to bring up photography because we all know how Catherine is a photographer. And she's trying to liken him to Catherine. It never stops. It's creepy. Lycans are known for taking excellent pictures, the best around. Wouldn't surprise me if the first family photo taken by Archie came right out. Here you go. Salt and pepper. Mama and Papa. Oh my God. I've told you before, I think Meghan helped him get this deal with Netflix. He did the headshots for Sister Space. I already showed you that. He did the headshots for Shouty Shola. Yeah. When it comes to Archie, you have to remember a lot of the things Meghan said, okay? Supposedly at 2 years old, he didn't ask for toys. He asked for a waffle maker, which the Queen sent him. And of course, now you have a 4.5-year-old who asks specifically for a Leica, right? And let's not forget that his first word, depending on when it was said, was either crocodile or Grammy Diana. Remember, he's a very advanced child, according to Harry and Meghan. But that's typical for a narc. They always exaggerate their offspring's accomplishments, but these kids grow up never feeling like they can meet their parents' expectations. In my opinion, that's exactly what's going on here. And let's not forget that Mason was responsible for this pregnancy photo with the bad Photoshop where Meghan has 6 toes on one foot. And let's not forget that he's also responsible for the headshots for Sister Space. We all know what happened there. And rumor is he's responsible for Shouty Shola having a head photo as well. Doesn't surprise me. So now they're saying that Harry and Meghan, they're failing. Like they're in a spiral down that's like a free fall. And they've had the worst year of their professional lives. They lost their Spotify deal. They haven't been able to come up with anything for a Netflix. They have been labeled Hollywood's biggest grifters. They were slammed in the U.S. outlet, the biggest losers by the Bible of show business. We all know this. And then they put out this promotional video for their foundation, which was supposed to distract people. But what you saw in the video was them latching on to other people's things. Like when they showed up for that ribbon cutting, they had nothing to do with that, but they showed up for it. But they made sure the pictures from that were in their promotional video. They're not doing well in Hollywood. Nobody's inviting them to anything. Nobody's talking to them. They're being snubbed right and left. I think Meghan thought she was just going to walk right back into Hollywood because she had Prince Harry on her arm, and things just have not gone as planned. Which, don't get me wrong, it's completely their fault. All right, let's move on to what's going to happen with Christmas and the royal family. Now, we know that Harry's friends have turned their back on him. Hugh Grosvenor is going to have this huge wedding, and he's claiming that he got a save the date card, and he told them, sorry, we're not going. But the UK, by the way, doesn't use save the date cards, I've been informed. So they're being snubbed from all events. Well, now the royal family is having their get together, for the winter, and they're not invited. Is anybody surprised by that? Because I'm not. It's being reported that allegedly there's going to be about 40 guests invited for Christmas dinner at Sandringham, and Harry and Meghan are not on the list. Is anybody surprised? Now, this is a major change in usual protocol and Christmas tradition because senior members of the royal family are going to be joined by Camilla's children, Camilla's grandchildren, sister. Usually it's Camilla would leave Sandringham in the afternoon to go do Christmas dinner with her own family at her home in Wiltshire. So they're saying that although the official list hasn't been revealed, now that Charles and Camilla are king and queen, yes, her children from a previous marriage are going to be there. I mean, that just makes perfect sense, to be honest. We know that Harry and Meghan floated the invitation, or the information that they would accept an invitation this year for the first time if it was given. But I think the royal family have had enough, and they know that they can't be trusted. Anything they see or hear will be leaked. Harry and Meghan have run out of steam. They have no new information, which is why they've restarted this whole racism thing again, because they've totally run out of steam. Now, Harry and Meghan are trying to patch things up before Christmas, and as I told you just a few videos ago, their deals nobody's giving them deals. No major brands will work with them, and they refuse to accept that it's because they're grifters who don't do anything and don't, produce anything. We've seen that with Netflix and Spotify and everything else. No, they're insisting the royal family is killing their deals. Here is a perfect example. Rumors were flying rampant that Meghan Markle was going to be the new face of Dior. And Harry wore Dior to the coronation, and Dior put out a tweet and said, look at this tailoring fit for royalty. And they put up this picture of Harry wearing this Dior suit. And so there was a lot of talk that, there was negotiations going on that, Meghan was going to be the new face of Dior. And right after that, Dior came out and said, we are not in talks with Meghan Markle. She is not going to be our ambassador. And then the next day, Queen Camilla was dressed in Dior. Yep. And the girl who played Catherine on The Crown is the one who actually became the new face of Dior. So of course, Harry and Meghan are saying, well, these talks should have left to deals. And since we didn't get the deal, the royal family must be intervening somehow. So to get back to the whole, we want to get back in with the royal family, it's coming out that WME is basically telling Meghan that her reputation is not going to be, they can't fix anything. They can't do anything. They must repair the damage with the royal family. They have to get back into the fold. They must call them at Christmas and try to fix the problem. They must fix this. And if they can't fix it, they're dead in the water. I gotta be honest, I don't think the royal family is going to take him back. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I believe they are done with them. William and Catherine and the kids are never going to forgive. That book Spare is going to stand for all time. Could you imagine if they took Harry back and they're at events and they're bringing up what Harry wrote in the Spare? Harry is so deluded thinking he can just dial back on everything they did. But I agree with Molly's mama. I have absolutely no pity or sympathy for them because they tried to damage the royal family and their children, if they exist, are suffering now. Oh my God, you guys, forget it. Now, we're going to switch subjects really quickly, and I want to bring this up because everybody's like, Harry brought them to account. It was all Harry. No, it was William. William got the News of the World shut down for the illegal phone hacking. He got $1 million in compensation. He cleaned up the reporting, and people went to prison. Harry, no, sorry. And then I found this person who put a comment, one of my subscribers pointed out, that the Mirror Group originally offered Harry up to £350,000 in 3 separate negotiations. He went to court with over 140 complaints, which was reduced to 33. He quote unquote won on 15 of them and got less than a third with legal fees than if he had just settled. Yep. Harry's attorney at that point put out a statement where the attorney said that he thanked his attorneys for going through the sworn testimony of Mirror Group's senior executives, legal department, and journalists who at least turned up to court, like their colleagues who were perhaps too afraid to do so, and then mentioned Piers Morgan. And of course, now we know that Piers Morgan was never called to court. He was never asked for a statement. And so once again, Harry spread misinformation, but he did it through his attorney. And as usual, he's calling about people not showing up to court when he himself did not show up on day one. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you've already done that, double check. Make sure you are still subscribed. Don't forget to leave those comments. And if you've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.